Hey everybody, it's Centurion1307 back here, and today we're going to talk about a game I've been playing off and on for a few years now, Elder Scrolls Online. Now before you roll your eyes at this video, I was right there with you when the game first came out. It came out in 2014 and I avoided it for the first year of its life. I not only avoided it because it was PC only, but because it was not the Elder Scrolls experience that I was looking for. But eventually I caved in because I wanted to go back to the Elder Scrolls world. The original game released with a paywall in place just to play the game. They were trying to be more like World of Warcraft, but the fans did not want this. They were looking more for a Skyrim style game. With lackluster content, the paywall, and it was filled with bugs, the PC version of Elder Scrolls Online was falling flat on its face, and they had to go back to the drawing board to figure out what to do. After a year of failings, the game finally got released onto console, and I still was not ready to play. I had a very close friend who had played ESO since its launch on console, and he always told me if I gave it a chance I would enjoy it, but I was reluctant as to I had never really done an MMO at that time. So during a Black Friday sale in November of 2015, I picked up ESO for $25 in a hope that I would enjoy it, and it was definitely a different experience from Skyrim just getting started. The big change for me was getting used to the idea that I was not just restricted to one country in the world of Tamriel. I was in the entire world of Tamriel. With every country and every bit of lore poured into this game, you could go everywhere in the Elder Scrolls franchise. You are not just restricted to the land of Skyrim. For the Skyrim nuts out there like me, every bit of Skyrim is there, plus some. From High Hrothgar to Windhelm, all the way to Riverdale, it is all there plus more. It must be said that ESO takes place hundreds of years before the events of Skyrim and other Elder Scrolls games. The world and its events are going to be completely different than what you're used to. Some factions and events haven't even taken place yet. There is a small handful of countries in this game that you do need to have a group with you. They are considered group areas, and if you try to go into them solo, you're not going to have a great time. But that is a very small fraction of the entire game. I have played almost 85% of this game by myself. If you have a favorite race of character that you have loved to play in all the Elder Scrolls games, this game allows you to do that, and you get to explore where they come from and the culture that they have. In my first few months of playing ESO, I noticed how restrictive the game was. You couldn't mingle with other people from other factions, and if you went into an area that was too high a level, you got your ass kicked. What really changed all this for everybody and made the game even better for me is when they created the One Tamriel update, which removed all the barriers that had been put in place in the original game. This made it to where you could go to any country in the world and mingle with other players from factions, and you were not cut off from each other because you didn't belong to the same faction. This only still applies in PvP areas. The main PvP area I'm talking about is Cyrodiil and the Imperial City. You cannot intermingle with other people from different factions. You're all warring against each other for control over the main PvP area, and it never stops. There is always a constant battle in one form or another. Every PvP event in Cyrodiil is called a campaign, and every campaign that ends, another one starts, basically resetting the battle. The PvP fun does not end there. There is holiday events throughout the year to incentivize PvP play. Now there is also team deathmatches to create group battles amongst other players. And just for good measure, when you're out and about in the main game outside of Cyrodiil, if you see another player, challenge them to a duel and see if they accept. This brings us into the social aspect of the game. ESO creators have made it to where socializing with other players in the game is a given at any moment. Every country has about 1 to 2 hubs where the public basically gathers there to do everything from trading to socialize to even duel each other. In just walking around and doing my business, I can get messages out of nowhere from people complimenting me on the look of my character. Since Xbox added ESO to their Game Pass subscription, player count has been up with new players, and it has made the game even more entertaining. Just the other day, in walking around Auradon, I watched a person ride around a fake horse on a stick just for fun, just to entertain other people. With all this socializing, players are incentivized to create guilds. There is a guild for everything. I've seen guilds for trading, guilds for dungeon running, guilds for PvP, guilds for PvE, you name it, there's a guild for it. With all this socialization in place, you'll definitely be in moments where you have to go with other players to reach a certain objective, because there is a number of things in the game that require multiple players to do the actual mission. Now for my main love of this game, the story. I am a huge story buff, I love a good long story, and I'm still trying to find where this game ends. It has taken me months of my life to hammer out the main stories that originally came with the game. We're not even talking about the add-ons that have come after that. The main story you will experience first in the game is just a small tidbit of what it takes to get started into exploring the entire world of Tamriel. Doing this main story will get you to about a level 50, but I am a level 530 and it has taken a lot more than just doing the main story to get there. There is so much story in this game that this video I feel is not even long enough to scratch the surface of it. The amount of lore they have in this game is crazy, from story quests to faction quests, alliance quests, side quests. There is quests for quests. And just when you thought there wasn't enough story, there was updates. Zenimax and Bethesda have done a good job of making major updates throughout the year, every year, to incentivize people to keep playing the game and experiencing the world of ESO. By September of 2016, I found myself standing in line for the gold edition of ESO just to keep playing this game and have access to all the current updates at that time. Since that time, I have kept up with every major update that has come across this game, and I have been playing the stories that come with them, along with the quality of life updates that help improve gameplay every time one of these updates come out. Some of these game updates are small and give you a couple hours of gameplay. Others are massive and completely change the game, adding days of story to the game. The ESO community is getting ready for another major update in 2019 that's going to make the game even bigger. They are getting the community hyped for this update by creating what is known as the Wraithstone update, where you get a set of 2 dungeons that will give you the pre-story for the major update. The major update will come out in June of 2019 and it will be called Elsewhere. Here you will learn the story of the Khajiit homeland, and dragons are finally being brought into the ESO game. Now, just to be clear, I do not live on this game, but every time one of these updates comes out, I get sucked right back into this game for another couple of months. ESO has done a good job of making me go back and forth to this game over the years. I find it a very relaxing zen when you're just wanting to come home and play a game casually and not get into anything too competitive. I have gone on tons of quests. I have had awesome times with friends. I have even made new friends along the way playing this game. And by doing all these quests and completing all these stories, you get achievements, which go way beyond the achievement score or trophies you get on either console. What ESO does is at the end of every quest, or when you do one of the achievements in game, you have the ability to get a cosmetic item for your home to put in your home, so that way it's kind of like a trophy of completion that you did this. I actually happen to own 2 homes in the game. I have a guild hall for me and all my friends, and then I have a personal home that I put all these trophies in, and it's getting pretty full. I have played plenty of other multiplayer games along the way, but again, me and my friends keep coming back to this franchise because it's just such a blast to play when you have the right people to play it with. But fear not, if you don't know people who play this game, by just playing the main stories themselves, you can pick up friends along the way, and pretty soon you're doing group areas with other friends you never thought you'd have. As an example of how supportive the community is, I was doing a trade across the chat one night, and as an act of kindness at the end of the trade, the gentleman wanted to make me a werewolf. This is something that some players actually have to pull out their wallet for and pay for. I could go on all day until you're bored about this game because there's just so much. I am truly amazed how Bethesda and Zenimax have brought this game back from the brink of a dumpster fire. Some game developers wish they could keep a title going this long, and some have even failed at trying to do it. I really appreciate you watching this video on ESO, and thanks for listening to me. Have a great day. And please, if you enjoyed this video, give me a like down below, and if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe to my channel. For more content like this, you can also visit legionofgamer.com.